Good evening and welcome to our comprehensive news for the day. I am Idowu Fabajo. On the news tonight, Ogun State government partners Shell Nigeria Gas Limited in key sectors of the economy. Court orders National Assembly to stop election reordering bill. United Kingdom to expel 23 Russian diplomats over poisoning of an expat. The path to success is to take massive, determined action.
Hello, welcome. I am Kari Taiwo taking the business segment of the news. Federal government offers for subscription by auction 17 billion naira worth of bonds in its March auction.
Hello, many thanks to you for watching. I am Moses or Jawumi. On Sport News tonight, Western United to ban pitch invaders for life.
Shell Nigeria Gas Limited has expressed the willingness to continue to partner with the Ogun State government to grow enterprises and develop the key sectors of the economy. This was the outcome of a meeting between government and management of the company led by the managing director, Mr. Idowu, during a courtesy visit to the governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, in his office, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Matthew Shoumi completes the report.
With the confirmation of the presence of oil deposits in commercial quantity, Ogun State is now prepared to join the group of oil-producing states in the country. This is why the meeting between the government and Shell Nigeria Gas Limited, led by the managing director, Mr. Idowu, is strategic at this time. Ogun State Governor Senator Ibikunle Amosun said the company has always been part of the developmental agenda in the state, and the government is delighted to welcome more partnership in the critical sectors of the economy. Governor Amosun welcomed the management of the company and praised them for what is being done in the oil and gas sector.
With this diversification drive that the federal government and even all the 36 states in Nigeria are trying to do, of course, energy, power, they're very important. And gas plays a very significant role because without having power in place, that's why we're even having all these issues. There's no sector that will not need, of course, to have whatever they're doing, of course, power must be there. And to drive all of those to this, we want to generate, even we need gas to do all of those. There are so many other areas where I think we go collaborate and complement one another.
Managing Director of Shell Nigeria Gas Limited, Mr. Idowu, stated that the company has been maintaining a long-standing relationship with the state, and the visit is to further deepen it.
Yeah, but more importantly, we are still keen to key into your vision for the state, which is how do we continue to grow enterprise? How do we continue to grow the educational sector? How do we continue to work together to ensure that the socio-economic lives of the people of Ogun State is developed?
The meeting went into a closed-door session, and the MD speaks on the outcome of the meeting.
Yeah, so I think it was a very good meeting with His Excellency. Shell Nigeria Gas Limited is committed to industrialization via gas utilization. We have a significant footprint in Ogun State, where we've supplied gas to the Abara, Ota, Igbesa area. Probably the most developed industrial estate in Nigeria today.
Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
The development agenda for Western Nigeria Dawn Commission has underscored the importance of the legislative arm of government in the southwestern Nigeria, describing it as pivotal to actualization of sustainable development framework for the region. The acting director general of the commission, Mr. Sheye Oyeleye, said this during a courtesy visit to the leadership of the Ogun State House of Assembly as he intimates the lawmakers on the proposed Dawn Commission bill.
We are not talking of scrapping states. We're only talking of working together, economies of scale, making sure that the future of our children and yet unborn children is guaranteed in a stable and vibrant Federal Republic of Nigeria. The agenda we pursue is not a secessionist agenda. It's an agenda purely for development.
Responding, the Speaker, Right Honorable Suraj Ishola Adekunbi, reiterates the Assembly's readiness to partner with the Commission as part of its unrelenting quest for the socio-economic advancement of the state.
To ensure that we put in place in legislation that will accelerate development of our state. We have been doing this without any delay. And with the objective of the Town Commission, I believe that our region will definitely go back to that glorious days. We are championing the cause of development in terms of all facets of lives, in the education, economy, security, agriculture.
The Speaker lauded the Commission for putting forward an all-inclusive blueprint to further agenda all-round development of all 6 southwestern states. The pedestrian bridge that will serve about 4 link roads in Pansheke area of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, is gradually nearing completion. OGTV News was at the place to see the level of work done. That was the old Pansheke at Ibara in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. After the Midas touch of the current administration in Ogun State in the area, this is what it looks like at the moment. Considering the heavy movement of both human and vehicles, there is need for a pedestrian bridge which will reduce accident and traffic gridlock in the area as stated by the pedestrians and other road users in the area.
Abeokuta is getting big. Okay. The city is getting larger and we have a lot of people coming in. So, and for the road construction going on everywhere, and the expansion of the road, we have more traffic, and for people to cross, at times very difficult. And for the bridge, I think it's good. To reduce the accidents on the road, car hitting people, especially in this Pansheke.
As at moment, we need it because of the crossing of the people, so that there will not be too much accident on the road. That is the only purpose why I know we need it.
People, not everybody can actually walk past this road fast. With the volume of traffic on these ways now, because of it's not a dual carriageway, so it's not easy for people to cross. Right. So we need a pedestrian bridge.
The pedestrian bridge, which linked the road coming from Agbeloba to Unikolubo, Unikoko, and Ibara, will soon be completed. Idowu. Ogun State government has commissioned a new modular theatre at the State Hospital in Ijebu-Ode to enhance qualitative healthcare delivery. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ikpaye, while underscoring the importance of the newly constructed theatre, said that the facility was built so as to ensure a safe environment for surgical operations and also to avert deaths that may arise from delayed surgeries. Dr. Ikpaye noted further that with the new development, the hospital would become a referral center of repute as staff offices and doctors' call rooms were accommodated within the theater to ensure quick response to emergency cases.
Part of this is that people will be operated in a sane environment. The surgical outcome will be improved upon. We have increased what we inherited from one theater to 2 suites, so that 2 surgeries can go on at the same time, so there will be no need for delay, and death from delayed surgeries will be averted. And then other facility can now refer their patients here. It will serve the entire people of Ijebu land.
For assured that the state would not rest on its laurels, ensuring effective health care delivery to the citizenry as it plans to embark on a statewide health insurance scheme where access to health would be given to people at a token. Human capital development will bring about different innovations and ideas that will enhance the growth and development of local government and LCDAs. The Ogun State Chairman Local Government Service Commission, Comrade Rotimi Rahman, stated this during a walking tour of local governments and LCDAs in Ogun East and West Senatorial District. Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
For local governments and local council development areas to perform their statutory functions as entrenched in the enabling laws of Ogun State, optimally, there is need for constant monitoring and evaluation. In view of this, the State Local Government Service Commission took it upon itself to familiarize itself and monitor the activities of local government and LCDA's workers in order to get the best from them, as well as reposition them for higher responsibilities.
We are here officially to take stock of how far our officers here have been. How have they been assisting the government in the arduous task of governance.
The visit of the commission to Ijebu East Central, Ojowo, Leguru, Ifesuwapo Imudimos on LCDAs and Odogbo local government area is to see how the workforce is faring in contributing to the development of the state, especially in the area of revenue generation.
We shall continue to work harder to increase the revenue profile of the SCDA within the confines of law, extant rules.
They were very open to all our discussions. The chairman took every of the challenges we had one after the other, and I'm quite impressed.
I'm sure it's built confidence that the government really cares about the civil service and even the political functionaries to ensure that we achieve good governance in Ogun State. So this is really remarkable.
Comrade Rotimi Rahman says the doggedness of the current administration through good governance remains crucial to the development of grassroots.
Human capital development can bring about, different initiatives and ideas that will help our local council development areas in question. So most of the challenges that we have been facing is something that is general phenomenon. Some of them are clamoring for appointment of staff, most especially junior staff, and that is exactly why we are going around, just for us to know where our strength lies, where our opportunity lies, where our weaknesses lies, as well as our threats. And all we are doing is just to change our weaknesses to strength and turn our threats to opportunity.
Idowu, Agbara Igbesa and Ijuaton Ilogbo LCDAs we have visited earlier, where the commission appreciated the fact that there is no record of mismanagement of funds and human resources in these areas. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
You're watching OGTV News, and still to come, Non-Academic Union of Universities suspends industrial action. More news and reports after this break.
It's up to us, all of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria of the fearful and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
You're welcome back. Women are the solution to Nigeria's many problems. These are the submissions of women at the 2018 International Women's Day, organized by African Hub International and held at Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. Tunde Olaniran reports that the theme of the three-day conference is the African woman in today's global environment. His report.
In this room are women and the few men that love them. It is a three-day conference aimed at celebrating the 2018 International Women's Day. Speakers at the conference say 40% of women in Nigeria are entrepreneurs, which is the largest in the world, hence the need for investment in entrepreneurship.
Africa will not rise as long as its daughters are bleeding, and Africa will never be prosperous or at peace with itself if the whole generation is losing opportunities. It is a no-brainer. Education is a powerful tool that will help women and girls access political and economic powers. I encourage you, with all that get education.
Women constitute more than half of the 1.2 billion of Africa's population. More than half. So what can you do if you leave half behind? Nothing. That means women were a very strong force.
Similarly, we believe it is in the interest of the world's developed nations, especially America's interest, when they open their markets to goods from Africa and create prosperous economies.
Women are to begin to create the future they want to see, according to them, noting that if gender gaps can be closed, poverty eradication can be enhanced.
Because women reinvest the majority of their income into their families and their communities. When women have equal access to the economy, their children are healthier, more educated, their communities are more prosperous, and their countries are more stable.
The importance of SMEs in any nation is indescribable, because without SMEs, there is no government, there is no nation that can prosper.
They agreed that women are naturally good money managers and excellent repayers of debt, lending credence to the saying that African women can change Africa.
Obey tax laws. You should charge VAT on valuable goods and services. Anytime you are doing business, you cannot afford to say you are ignorant of the law, because it is not an excuse.
One thing to take away from this conference is that investment in women will help improve socio-economic development. Tunde Olaniran, OGTV News.
The Nigerian-Tunisian Joint Commission Forum has ended to Abuja with the two countries signing agreements in 6 areas met for the diplomatic relations between the two countries. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema and his Tunisian counterparts signed the agreement on behalf of their countries. After 2 days of bilateral deliberations, including a business forum that brought businessmen from the two countries exploring investment opportunities, Nigeria and Tunisia finally decided to apt their bilateral relations with the signing of agreements and memorandum of understanding in 6 areas. These include consumer protection, social affairs, cultural exchange, energy, youth development, and trade cooperation. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and his Tunisian counterpart, Kimayas Jimani, explained the significance of the agreement signed.
The various areas for investment and technical cooperation.
So I go back to Tunis with that mission, that I have the full political support from the Nigerian side to go further in deepening our cooperation in various fields.
The Senate has referred executive communications from President Muhammadu Buhari on his request for confirmation of nomination for appointment of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and members of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Apex Banks to the Committee on Banking. Report says that this followed reconsideration by the lawmakers of the original position on the matter.
The purpose of this motion on the other paper is for the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief,
to be referred to the relevant committee for further legislative action.
Motion that the Senate should consider the request of the President in the commission of Mrs. Aisha Ahmed, and also one earlier read today of Mr. Edward Lamtek Adamu, and refer to appropriate committees. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The lawmakers also passed for second reading a bill for an act to repeal the Raw Materials Research and Development Council Act 2004 and enact the 2018 version. The House of Representatives is to investigate alleged disappearance of $150,000 over payment into the account of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria by the International Amateur and Athletics Federation. This came in a motion of urgent public importance by Representative Dreyi Donye from Bayelsa State. The House mandated its Committee on Sports to investigate the matter and find out measures to prevent future occurrence.
$50,000 from the International Amateur and Athletics Federation to AFN, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, and the threat of banning our dear country, Nigeria, if the money is not returned.
Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday ordered the National Assembly to stop taking any further actions on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2018, which seeks to provide the order in which the Independent National Electoral Commission must conduct the 2019 general election. The restraining order issued by Justice Ahmed Mohammed is to last till March 17, which is the next hearing date. Delivering ruling on an oral application by Chief Wole Olanipe concern, lawyer to the plaintiff, accord party, Justice Mohammed aired that the restraining order was made to preserve the substance of the main suit. President Muhammadu Buhari had on Tuesday informed the National Assembly that he had withheld his assent to the bill, which was earlier passed by both chambers of the National Assembly. There have been threats by some legislators that the National Assembly would revoke its powers under Section 58, Subsection 5 of the Constitution to override the President's withholding of assent by 2/3 majority votes of both members. The oral application by Olanipekun for a preservative order was opposed by the counsel representing the National Assembly, Chinelo Ogbozo, during Wednesday proceedings. The Attorney General of the Federation, the second defendant to the suit, was not represented by a counsel, but INEC, the third respondent, was represented by its lawyer, Mr. Taminu Unua, who said he had no objection to the application. Ruling, the judge said that the National Assembly was not likely to suffer any prejudice if it was restrained from going ahead with the amendment processes before the next hearing date. He added that on the other hand, if no restraining order was issued and the National Assembly went ahead to exercise its powers under Section 58, Subsection 5 of the Constitution by overriding the President withholding of assent, the essence of the whole suit will have been defeated. The judge therefore that all parties to maintain the status quo. He fixed Tuesday for the hearing of the motion for the interlocutory injunction, the same order which was granted during the Wednesday's proceedings, but would likely last till the final determination of the suit if the application succeeds. The non-academic unions of universities, which began an industrial strike since December 4, 2017, have suspended its strike. The chairman of the Joint Action Committee of the union, Samson Ugwoke, announced this decision at a briefing in Abuja on Wednesday, noting that based on extension consultations with our various organs, we hereby announce the suspension of the strike action embarked upon by JAC with effect from today, March 14. The JAC comprises of the National Association of Academic Technologists, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, and the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities. The third matriculation of Christland University, Abeokuta, takes place on Thursday, 15th March 2018 at 10 in the morning. According to a statement by the registrar, the matriculation lecture will be delivered by Professor Ladapo Walker of the School of Medicine, Babcock University, Ilishan, Remo, and taking of matriculation oath will be observed by new students. The Vice Chancellor of Christland University, Professor Mrs. Chinedu Peace Babalola, will preside over the event. Special dignitaries expected to grace the occasion include the Chancellor and founder of Christland University, Chief Dr. Mrs. Winifred Awoshika, the Pro-Chancellor Emeritus Professor J. Bayo Adekoye, members of the Board of Trustees, the Governing Council, Senate, staff, parents, and well-wishers. The 6th inaugural lecture of Federal College of Education, Oshiele Abeokuta, will hold on Thursday, 15th March 2018. Venue is Kunle Filane Academic Theatre, Federal College of Education, at 2 in the afternoon. A release by the college indicates that the lecture has as topic Back to the Roots, a clarion call for social civic renaissance in Nigeria, and will be delivered by Dr. Rashid Adenrili Adeturu. And now coming up next is business news.
It will be welcoming business leaders, industrialists, manufacturers, entrepreneurs, the financial sector, and investors interested in taking advantage of the significant transformation in the state during the past 6.5 years to the Ogun State Investors Forum in Abeokuta on Tuesday 20th and Wednesday 21st of March 2018. With a rapidly improving physical infrastructure in our major cities, strengthening and streamlining of the business environment, improved security, and the recognition of Ogun State as a thriving economic hub for investment and growth in Nigeria, Ogun State is the undisputed investment destination of choice in Nigeria today. Let's share with you our vision and the opportunities that abound in technology, industry, and agriculture in Ogun State. Do not miss the 4th edition of our highly successful Ogun State Investors Forum. To register, visit www.ogunstateinvestorsforum.ng. Ogun State, open for business.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said the country's consumer price index, which measures inflation, rose by 14.33% year-on-year in February 2018. It said the 14.33 percentage rate for February is 0.08 percentage points lower than the 15.3% recorded in January. Food index, according to the report, increased by 17.59% year-on-year by 1.33 percentage points from 18.82% recorded in January 2018. The Senate has said it is uncertain when the 2018 appropriation bill will be passed by the National Assembly. The legislature and the executive have been passing the buck on which arm of government is responsible for the delayed passage of the budget, which President Muhammadu Buhari laid before a joint session of the National Assembly on November 7, 2017. The chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Aliyu Shabi Abdullahi, while briefing journalists in Abuja, stated that he could not ascertain when the budgetary process will end. The Senate had on February 14, 2018, asked 63 agencies and parastatals under the federal government to submit details of their proposed 2018 budgets within 1 week or risk sanctions. The upper chamber of the National Assembly had declared that while the president had complied with the law by laying the 2018 appropriation bill along with details of estimates before the lawmakers, the agencies of the government had disregarded the law. The federal government has offered for subscription by auction 70 billion naira worth of bonds in its March 2018 auction, says the Debt Management Office (DMO). The offer circular obtained from its website said that it will sell 10 billion of a 5-year reopening bond maturing in July 2021 at 14.50%. It will also sell 30 billion 7-year new issue to mature in March 2025 at an undisclosed interest rate, and another 30 billion naira 10-year reopening at 13.98% to mature in February 2028. Nigeria issues sovereign bonds monthly to support the local bond market, create a benchmark for corporate issuance, and funds its budget deficits. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in Katsina State disbursed over 4 billion naira and farming inputs, including fertilizer, urea, pumping machines, rice seeds, and pesticides to rice farmers in the state under the bank's Anchor Borrowers Scheme. Addressing the rice farmers on the occasion, the bank's head of development and operation, Katsina Alhaji Abubakar Ahmed, said the scheme was designed to boost the nation's economy, reduce import of agricultural products, as well as checkmate the flow of economic resources to other countries through imports. The CBN official said over 4,000 rice farmers in the state are benefiting from the program, adding that beneficiaries were selected through the association to ensure prompt repayment of loans. On the challenges faced by the scheme, especially during dry season farming, he said these include lack of sufficient farming inputs. The African Development Bank has predicted an average growth rate of 3.8% in the gross domestic product of West Africa economies. The bank made the prediction in its publication, Africa Economic Outlook, which now comes in 4 regional editions. In a statement made available to the press, the bank said unimpressive performance in Nigeria in 2016 resulted in stagnation in the West African region, as the nation accounts for about 70% of the regional economy. According to the bank, following the recovery experienced in Nigeria and other West African countries in 2017, growth in the GDP is expected to rise to 3.8% in 2018 and move up to 3.9% in 2019. The Nigerian Stock Exchange (NSE) has delisted the shares of 7up Bottling Company (PLC), closing down the non-alcoholic beverages subsector of the consumer goods sector. The delisting of 7up was reminiscent of the exit of its rival Nigerian Bottling Company from the exchange. Head Listing Regulation Department, Nigerian Stock Exchange, Godstime Iwekena, confirmed the delisting, which was valued at 65.32 billion. According to him, the delisting of the entire issued share capital of 7up was done last week, sequel to approval of a scheme of arrangement to restructure and delist the company from the exchange by shareholders. Despite strong protests from minority shareholders, the majority core investor of 7up, Africa SA, had on January 11, 2018 pushed through approval to acquire the outstanding 26.8% held by the minority shareholders. And it is on that note that we come to the conclusion of the business segment of the news. The news return back to Idowu. Fabajo.
You're welcome to the first segment of the news. The UK will expel 23 Russian diplomats after Moscow refused to explain how a Russian-made Nevagen was used on a former spy in Salisbury, the PM says. Theresa May said the diplomats who have a week to leave were identified as undeclared intelligence officers. She also revoked an invitation to Russia's foreign minister and said the royal family would not attend the FIFA World Cup later this year. Russia denies being involved in the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal. The Russian embassy said the expulsion of 23 diplomats was unacceptable, unjustified, and short-sighted. Former spy Mr. Skripal, 66, and his daughter Yulia Skripal, 33, remain critically ill in hospital after being found slumped on a bench on 4 March. DT SGT Nick Berlin also fell ill, responding to the incident, and is in a serious but stable condition, but is thought to be improving. Moscow refused to meet Mrs. May's midnight deadline to cooperate in the case, prompting Mrs. May to announce a series of measures intended to send a clear message to Russia. Mrs. May told MBS that Russia had provided no explanation as to how the nerve agent came to be used in the UK, describing Moscow's response as one of sarcasm, contempt, and defiance. She said the use of Russian-made nerve agent on UK soil amounted to the unlawful use of force. Still on the foreign scene, Africa's only female head of state, Mauritanian President Amina Gurib Fakim, she is refusing to quit over an expense scandal just days after it was announced she would resign. She denies any misconduct after allegations emerged she made tens of thousands worth of personal purchase on a charity bank card. Her office has said the purchases were accidental and have been paid back. But the president's office has now contradicted this statement. It also said that Gurib Fakim, a renowned scientist, had an identical credit card from the same bank, inadvertently used the card from the Planet Health Institute, PEI, for expenses not linked to her mission. Local Express newspaper reported in February that the country's first female president used a credit card given to her by the PEI in London to buy jewelry and clothes abroad. According to the paper, she was given the card for serving as the NGO's unpaid director, and it was to be used to pay for the promotion of a doctorate program named after the president. In a statement to the BBC, PEI London said that Ms. Gurib Fakim had refunded the money to its Mauritanian sister organization. The organization says it had given her a credit card to cover travel expenses while promoting African science, technology, and innovation. Students and school staff across the U.S. are commemorating the Florida school shooting with a walkout exactly 1 month after the killings. They are stopping lessons for 17 minutes in memory of the 17 people killed at Major Lee Stoneman Douglas High School. A former pupil has been charged with the killings. Organizers of the protest accuse Congress of failing to tackle gun violence adequately. The White House revealed a plan this week to deter school shootings, which does not include President Donald Trump's repeated calls to raise the age for buying semi-automatic rifles to 21. Instead, it moves ahead with its controversial proposal to provide firearms training to school employees. Also on the foreign scene, world-renowned cyclist Stephen Hawking, who died early hours of Wednesday, has been called an inspiration to millions. The British scientist died at his home in Cambridge at the age of 76. Tributes have continued to pour in for the man described as a triumph. Professor Hawking was diagnosed with a rare form of motor neuron disease at the age of 22 and was told he had only a few years to live. He was known for his theories on black holes and relativity and went on to publish several popular science books, including A Brief History of Time. And still to come is some sports news with Moses Ojewumi.
Welcome to the sports segment of the news, starting from the world of tennis. World number 2 Caroline Wozniacki was beaten by Russia's Diana Kasatkina in the 4th round at Indian Wells. The Dane, who could have reclaimed the top ranking by winning the tournament, was beaten 6-4, 7-5 by the Russian.
Is it going to end here? Kasatkina with 2 match points.
Meanwhile, Serena Williams should have been given top seeding at Indian Wells on a return from the birth of her daughter, says world number 1 Simona Halep. Williams has no official ranking after spending a year off court, which means she cannot be seeded for WTA events. However, she can gain entry into 8 tournaments in 12 months, including 2 Grand Slams with a protected world number 1 ranking. Halep says she thought Williams should have been ranked as she left. Speaking after the 4th round win over China's Wang Kuang, Halep said, "To give birth is the best thing in the world. It's more than a sport." End of quote. And now to football stories. West Ham have confirmed they will hand lifetime bans to those fans who invaded the pitch and threw missiles during the 3-0 defeat to Burnley on Saturday. 4 separate pitch invasions interrupted the game at the London Stadium, and co-owner David Sullivan was hit by a coin and forced to leave the director's box as hundreds of supporters congregated below in protest at the club's board. The Football Association has given West Ham until the end of the week to provide their observations on the unrest, and the Hammers have vowed to work alongside the authorities in order to identify those involved in the violence. In a statement released by the club on Wednesday morning, West Ham United are committed to taking decisive and positive action, with the primary focus of ensuring London Stadium is a safe, comfortable and secure environment for supporters attending future matches. And Jamie Carragher has been suspended by Sky for the rest of the football season. The suspension comes after Carragher was filmed spitting towards his father and his 14-year-old daughter from his car window. Carragher has since apologized for the incident, which occurred during an altercation while he was driving away from Old Trafford following Saturday's match between Manchester United and Liverpool. Jamie Carragher tells Sky News his actions on Saturday were huge mistakes in a moment of madness after he was filmed spitting at a family in their car. Tottenham and England striker Harry Kane suffered a damaged ankle ligament in Sunday's win over Bournemouth and will be out until next month. Spurs said in a statement that the preliminary assessment confirmed the injury after a scan on Monday. Kane, who has scored 35 goals for Spurs this season, injured his right ankle in a collision with Bournemouth goalkeeper Asman Begovic. The prognosis means he is set to be fit for England's World Cup campaign, but the 24-year-old will miss Tottenham's FA quarter-final at Swansea on Saturday, as well as 2 England-friendly matches the following week. Gareth Southgate's men travelled to the Netherlands on 23 March before hosting Italy on 7th March. And lastly, in the world of sports, Lewis Hamilton says his relaxed contract talks are progressing well ahead of the new F1 campaign, insisting he and Mercedes are trying to extract more from each other in 2018. The world champion's current deal expires at the end of the season, but both parties have consistently expressed their willingness to extend the Hamilton expected to pen a 3-year deal worth a reported £120 million. But while Hamilton admitted at a Petronas event in Turin that there was no news in relation to his contract, he confirmed Hamilton still hopes to have his contract signed before the season opening Australian GP on March 24, but stated, if not, don't worry, it will happen. Obviously, we've got this year to focus on, but it will for sure happen. And that's it on Sport News. The rest of the news continues shortly.
You're welcome back, and now let's see how the weather will look like on Thursday. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. Just before we go on the news, here are the top stories again. Ogun State government is partnering Shell Nigeria Gas Limited in key sectors of the economy. Federal High Court has ordered National Assembly to stop election reordering bill. Federal government offered for subscription by auction 70 billion naira worth of bonds in its March auction. And on the foreign scene, we said United Kingdom to expel 23 Russian diplomats over poisoning of an ex-spy. In the world of sport, West Ham United to ban pitch invaders for life. And that's it on the news. Many thanks for your time. Do have a wonderful night rest.